Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just going to give have 1 to 2 minutes to have everyone join us. But welcome to today's presentation, the third in our health and wellness series for from us at Heart Niagara. My name is Ijama Michael, and today we will be having conversations or having a workshop around the battle for restful sleep. If we sleep well, we will live better. So welcome again. So let's begin. Our workshop for today is on sleeping. Everybody needs to sleep. So this is a good one. Our topic today is the battle for restful sleep. Sleep well, live better. This is a common dilemma across the world. Somewhere, somehow, at night, someone is tossing and turning, not being able to sleep for some reason. Everyone's reason for tossing and turning at night may be different, but the result is always the same: sleeplessness. So how do we solve this problem? How do we get to a place where we can actually have restful sleep at night and wake up refreshed? So today we'll be running through some tips to help you get better quality sleep and function better in life. Our conversations around today will be straight to the point, and we're starting off with defining or describing what restful sleep is. Then we'll move on to talking about causes of sleep difficulties, which we encounter. Then we'll speak about tips of overcoming the sleeplessness, which we struggle with, and then how we can optimize our sleep. So what is considered restful sleep? So restful sleep is a state of sleep when you are still and you exhibit least amount of movement. So you don't toss, you don't turn, you pretty much sleep through the night. Sleep is also considered to be restful when you sleep about 30 minutes right after getting into bed. And then you typically sleep throughout the night, at least for the recommended amount of hours you're supposed to get per age group. So for example, if you're 25 years of age and it's recommended that you sleep for 9 hours, if you get 9 straight hours without interruptions, then you have restful sleep. So before we move forward, if we think about it, just think about on a Monday morning when you're asleep and you know you're supposed to go to work or school, and you wake up, say, and you're ready to just jump up and head into the shower. But you check the time and it's 4:30 p.m. a.m. when you originally thought that it would be, say, 7:30, but you're feeling refreshed already. So that is one way of knowing if you actually did have restful sleep. So according to Charles Schulz, he says, happiness is waking up, looking at the clock and finding that you still have 2 more hours of sleep left. It's always a great feeling. So one way of trying to find out if you how your sleep is going is to track it. You can have a journal, you can use a tracking app to help you gain insights into your sleeping patterns and how you can adjust as needed. We're going to speak more about this as we move forward. So everybody in general, when you think about sleep for a second, you probably think about it as, what is really affecting my sleep. One doctor, a neuroscientist, made a very controversial statement saying that everybody thinks a molecule called melatonin is responsible for your sleep pattern. But he said that as a surgeon, he had taken out the regions of patients' brains where melatonin was produced, and they still slept good. So according to him, he said, and he believes that it was based on circadian rhythm. And he believes that if you are not in sync with your environment, plants, nature, and everything else, then you will not be getting good sleep. And a lot of people agree with him. He also believed that sleep is the best type of meditation you could ever get. So what are the benefits of sleep? First of all, we have improved mental function, mood boosts, a healthier heart, regulated blood level sugars, regulated blood sugar levels. How does it improve your mental health? Your brain gets rid of toxic substances and waste while you're sleeping. Your brain also controls mood hormones while you sleep, so it also boosts your mood. Your heart is not functioning at your heart basically is resting as well while you sleep. So there's less stress based on your heart. Your sugar levels are also controlled due to regulation of hormones. Your immune system is also restored while you sleep. You can release stress while you sleep because hormones are controlled as well. So quite a great number of hormones are controlled while you sleep. Then you can also control your weight. A lot of people wonder, how can you control your weight while you sleep? If you joined us with our first session about in the health and wellness series, where we spoke about weight control, how sleep can affect weight control. We spoke about the hormones ghrelin and leptin, which control hunger pangs and the feeling of fullness. So when we lack sleep, these hormones, the levels of these hormones are altered, and we eat more while we're awake. So while we sleep, these hormones are at a lower level. So somebody said that if they are not sleeping well, why should the next person sleep well? For example, if you're a couple or you have a wife or a husband and you are struggling to sleep while you watch your partner sleep, it's always very excruciating, like it's annoying. So, but someone said, well, if I'm sleeping, then the next person should sleep. So it would be nice to have friends come over just for sleep days, to be an advocate for sleep, or if you're struggling with sleep, you should all come together and do things that would help you sleep. So that's one way people look at it, and I agree with that. So what are causes of sleep difficulties? Just like we said earlier, everyone's reason for tossing and turning at night will be different, but the results are the same. Stress is one of the main causes of abnormal sleeping patterns. So if we are stressed out, it has a direct link to how well we sleep, because our brains are constantly at work and not resting. Second is aging. Too much stimulation before bedtime, maybe using your phones, watching too much television. Next is consuming too much caffeine, because it keeps your brain alert. Noise disturbances as well. If you have too much disturbances from cars, vehicles, honking sounds, maybe there's a party next door, you're definitely not going to get restful sleep. Next is feeling excited. Just imagine if you won the lottery, you'll be so excited you cannot sleep. So one thing that will cause sleep difficulties if you're too excited. Next is being uncomfortable, like your sleeping location, your bed, the light is too bright, the bed is too hard or too soft for you. That's one way you can have sleep difficulties. Next thing would be sleeping too much during the day. So you have naps that are too long. So when it's nighttime, you find it difficult to fall asleep just because you're not as tired as you should be. or your body clock or circadian rhythm is out of place. Next is lack of sun exposure, because your mind thinks that it's not morning yet, so your body has your circadian rhythm is out of place as well. Next is frequent urination, jet lag, physical pain, and some prescription medications. We also have one big one, which is sleeping disorders, such as obstructive sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, delayed sleep phase disorder. All these individually or in combination can cause sleep difficulties across the board. So sleeping difficulties or sleep insomnia is one thing that has caused a lot of economical burden to many countries. For example, according to a study in 2022, and that was recorded in the economic burden of insomnia symptoms in Canada, in the Sleep Health Journal, it said that the direct and indirect total cost of insomnia symptoms in Canada in 2021 were 1.9 billion, 12.6 million, 1.9 billion respectively. And this value represents 1.9% of the overall burden of illness cost for 2021. So that's quite a big chunk for sleeplessness, as simple as it sounds. So obviously this cost will be from medication, from lack of labor, lack of productivity, results of accidents due to sleeplessness, and everything across the board. So it's a good number to look at just to see where we're at. So what are the outlook for people with sleeping difficulties? Obviously, like we said, or just like we said earlier, your immune function will be decreased. You're going to get more colds. You're going to be more sick more often. You're going to have decreased performance at work or school. You may be irritable, you may have increased stress levels, which is like a circle in itself, because increased stress levels will cause more loss of sleep. And then your reaction times to just going about your day while you drive, while you cycle, everything you do is going to be slower. So it's going to affect the next person. So all of these are what sleep difficulties could mean for people that have sleep difficulties. So obviously, if you do have sleep difficulties, we're here to give you tips on how you can overcome these difficulties. So now moving on to tips for overcoming sleeplessness. But before we go further, when you think about it, what are some of the things that you think about when you can't sleep at night? Someone once said that they want to sleep, but their brain just doesn't stop talking to itself. Another person said, oh, even though I can't sleep right now, that's fine. I'll snooze my alarm clock in the morning, which is a totally bad idea, because it's constantly a battle before getting 1 to 2 extra hours of sleep, or getting about your day quickly and having the satisfaction of having or achieving what you have set to do during the day. Lack of sleep in itself causes accumulation of toxins in the brain, so you definitely don't want to snooze your alarm. You definitely want to snooze your alarm because you don't want toxins to accumulate, or you also do not want to get stressed so that you don't lose further sleep down the road. So it's a two-edged sword. So think about it. One study also showed that stress releases the same hormones that as the chemicals found in caffeine and cocaine. So that tells you how important it is for you to sleep. So moving on, tips for overcoming sleeplessness. First, we need to create a consistent sleep schedule. Plan to sleep at the same time every day. It will make a big difference. Plan to wake up at the same time every day, and then it will also make a big difference. Your body kind of gets into a rhythm. So much so that even when your alarm does not ring or you forget to set your alarm, you tend to wake up at the exact same time every single day. Second thing you should do is to create a quality sleeping environment by inducing um, a bedroom or creating a bedroom space or sleep space that is focused on minimizing distractions. A bed, pillows, a minimum light exposure or light control that would enable you to sleep properly. No screens in general from laptops, from televisions. Next or third, avoid caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol before bedtime. Those are stimulants and it would knock off your rhythm. Um, Also use high performance mattresses and pillows for good and also good quality bedding. Nobody wants because it's interesting how bad quality bedding can actually affect your sleep, from making you feel outrightly uncomfortable, itchy, scratchy. It is just one thing that can be done to improve your sleep, trust me. Fifth is to use to avoid light disruptions. So, for example, if you have your bedroom by um, the side of the house where your sun sets, you might want to use blinds or curtains that completely block out the light or block out the level of light that would interrupt your sleep at sunrise. Next, we need to cultivate some sort of distressing mechanism. Some people, like myself, I like to do some personal care at nighttime, some skincare routine, the shower, just to distress. Then find an agreeable temperature. That is very important. You need to find a temperature that will not have you waking up, tossing and turning in the middle of the night. Then you also want to introduce nice aromas. Fairly nothing too intense, just something very subtle that can help you get in, get into your sleep rhythm as soon as you get into bed. So also you need, like I said earlier, you can create a ritual for yourself. 1 hour to your planned bedtime. You can do breathing exercises. You can play relaxing music. You can take a warm shower. Then the next one is very, very important, which is to exercise or have physical activity 20 to 30 minutes within your day at least. This will definitely contribute to you getting better sleep. In fact, a study in the Journal of Sleep found that postmenopausal women who exercise about 3.5 hours a week had an easier time falling asleep. Think about it like this. When you take a walk or ride a bicycle for 30 minutes, and then after your day, you get into bed and you fall asleep in 10 to 15 minutes. And the next morning, you're like, oh, it must have been that cycling I did, or it might have been that run I took. That's exactly what it was. Next up is a very important one, sleeping position. Most people have a go to sleep position where they just want to go to sleep, but sometimes it's not beneficial. We have people who prefer to sleep on their backs. We have people who prefer to sleep on their sides. Whichever position you choose to pick, you have to know the benefits or demerits of. For example, back sleepers have back sleeping might not be right for you if you're prone to snoring. Side sleepers are considered to be so side sleeping is considered to offer benefits such as promoting healthy spinal alignment and reducing back pain, snoring, and acid reflux. However, some drawbacks to sleeping on one side are the facial position, which can cause wrinkles. So we have to do like a weigh the benefits against the drawbacks to see which works for you. To remedy this, you can make sure you're switching sides throughout the night just to make sure you're not on one side. For some people who prefer to sleep on their stomachs, sleeping on your stomach actually presents or provides the least back support. So if you have back pain, this might be bad for you. Then we have the people who like to sleep in the pita position. It consists of laying on your side with your legs bent and curled within your body, just like you are when you're in your mom's belly. A lot of people like this, especially for pregnant women. It's known to reduce snoring. But to make this position really comfortable for you, you can decide to sleep with a pillow between your knees. So we want to make sure that whatever position you do sleep in, whatever sleep rituals you have before bedtime, you want to make sure that whatever you do, you optimize your sleep in general. So we're going to be talking about how you can optimize your sleep. We're giving you tips in the previous session, in the previous slide, on how to reduce sleeplessness. So now let's try and see how we can optimize our sleep. So first thing we have to remember, create a routine. I'm going to reiterate it again, create a routine. Set a fixed wake up time and adjust gradually. Let's not do it cold turkey because our bodies know exactly what we're doing and will react to whatever we do. So one way is to set your alarm. Rather than do it on a daily basis, do it on a weekly basis or on a weekday basis versus weekend basis. So you don't have to set your alarm every night. Do it all week, do it all month. So it's the same time every day. Second thing we could do is bedtime habits. Wind down for at least 30 minutes before bedtime. Dim the lights, disconnect all devices. We do not want to have our phones next to the bed because when one text message comes in, it's a downward spiral into everything else and every app on our phones. And it's happened to the best of us. So we want to put our phone away from us or not too close to us so that we do not have to reach for it easily when we cannot sleep. It's also been advised that if you get into bed and 30 minutes, you're still tossing and turning, you could get up, do one activity for at least 10 minutes, then get back into bed. Another way to optimize your sleep is to foster cool sleep activities during the day. So this is what I mean. One, you do things during the day that will help you sleep at night. So what do we do? Number one, see the light of day, which means see the sun. When you wake up in the morning, find the sun, find some natural light. If, for example, there's always a way around it. I know what you're thinking. If, for example, you leave the house before the sun sets, when you get to work, and for example, your weather app or your phone tells you when the sun is going to rise, take a 5-minute break at work, see the sun. Next, find time to exercise. You have to find time. If you do not have time to physically go into the gym, take the staircase rather than the elevator at work. Walk, take a walk in the evenings, and that would get your move furniture around at home. Do something, get physically active. Contact us at Heart Niagara. We would fit exercise sessions into your very tight schedule. Next, you monitor your caffeine intake. Also be mindful of alcohol. Do not smoke. Remember, like we said in our first session, we have smoke cessation classes at Heart Niagara. So just visit our website and you will see all the details necessary. And also one more during the day pro sleeping habits to foster would be not to eat too late. So have your dinner not too close to your bedtime, say 2 hours, an hour before you get into bed. More tips to optimize your sleep. Budget time to sleep. Plan the way you budget to spend your money, budget your time to sleep. It's that simple. Then finally, but not exhaustively, breathe, just meditate. That's one easy way to distress just before you sleep. So I know we've spoken about a lot about how technology can help us, can make us lose sleep. Just like this slide shows, it shows that 30% of Canadians sleep with their cell phones beside the bed. Don't do it. It will disrupt your sleep. Don't be a part of that 30%. And this is a trend that is seen across the world, from Japanese folks who have 65% of them have their tablets beside their beds, to Americans who 62% of children and teenagers take their cell phones to bed, with 37% responding to SMS after lights out. That's a huge percentage. So basically, out of those 62%, 37% of them will wake up, pick up their phones and respond to text messages. Then we also have Mexicans, who 80% of them watch TV within an hour going to bed. So all these habits cumulatively affect sleeping, getting quality sleep across different countries in the world. So basically, do not let technology let you have less sleep. Instead, use technology to get more sleep. For example, we have loads and loads of research which has been done around beds, mattresses, and pillows. Manufacturers have found ways to create products which foster or which give you better back support, or a better feeling of sleeping in the clouds. We don't want to endorse any brands here, but there are so many brands at affordable prices which you can find to give you the best products for sleeping, from helping with back pain and all of that. Then smartphones, you can use our smartphones to track our sleeping, just to know where we need to let up or where we need to improve. We can also use our smartphones better by turning on do not disturb modes while we sleep, so that text messages or calls will not disrupt our sleep. We can also use night mode by reducing the brightness of our screens, so that it doesn't affect our eyes, or we don't get overly stimulated before bedtime. Same with our smartwatches. We can use them to track our sleep. We can use them to check our blood pressure just before bed, and we can use them to check our blood pressure when we get to bed. Smartwatches can also help us to track our sleep rhythm. So how well do we sleep? How many hours do we sleep without waking up in the night? So that would help us be able to use the tips which we have provided to adjust our sleep and to get a proper rhythm. Finally, sleep lighting, but it's an entire industry where well-researched technology around sleep and lighting has been used to enhance sleep quality. So basically, lighting, dim lights, low intensity lights are used are found to have some people sleep better rather than having it totally blacked out. So, with everything we've spoken about today, and the reasons that we have highlighted that may cause you to have sleeplessness, sometimes it actually goes beyond that. So sometimes it may not just be stress, or it may not just be excitement or caffeine. Sometimes it can be a sleeping disorder. A few of the most common sleep disorders are restless leg syndrome, sleep apnea, and gastroesophageal reflux disease. So restless leg syndrome is an urge to move your leg when you sleep, or sleep apnea is snoring while you sleep, and then gastroesophageal reflux disease is having a burning pain in your stomach and chest or throat while you sleep. So when either of these happen, it's a reason to get checked. You want to make sure that your reason for not being able to sleep is not beyond the general causes of sleeplessness. So you should want to have, if you have any of those symptoms, then you should get checked by a specialist just to make sure that it can be treated and sorted. So that's what we have regarding sleep for this health and wellness session. Like I said, keep in mind that resources that you would require can be found on our website. We will have these slides and resources up for you, but I'm just going to go back to this slide about the tips for overcoming sleeplessness. And I'm going to go over it as a summary. Remember, create a consistent sleep schedule. Plan to wake up at the same time every single day. Create a quality sleep environment. From picking the colors for your bedroom, the mattress, the flowers, but just focus on maximizing comfort and minimizing distractions. Avoid caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, any stimulant at all that would take away your sleep. Use high-performance mattresses and pillows. Avoid light distractions. Cultivate peace and quiet. Find an agreeable temperature. Introduce pleasant aromas. Find your best and most comfortable sleeping position. Exercise, exercise, and exercise. Keep moving during the day to give you better sleep at night. Choose your preferred sleeping position that will give you health benefits as well. So thank you for everyone who joined us online via Facebook. We hope to see you next week for our next session, which Claire will be taking. Remember to visit our website at www.heartniagara.com and send us a message if you require any further, if you have any questions. Thank you so much for joining in again. If you do have any questions, just put them in the link and we'll get the answers across to you. Thank you.